Ed Metelica, and I work at the Noojimo'iwewin Center here in Red Cliff. Welcome to another filming of Jiibaakwedaa, Let's Cook. So we took a break for a couple months, February and March. Busy out there shoveling snow, no time to cook. But we're starting up again, and we're going to continue through the entire year. So I wanted to get going on this is like the world's simplest recipe, and you don't really need to do a video on it. But the reason I want to do it is so that you can see how easy it is, and you will want to do this like all the time. You'll want to do it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, whatever. It's a fruit cobbler, and you can use any kind of canned fruit that you have. And by that I mean it could be apples, peaches, pears, berries like blueberries. You can also use fresh fruit. So we happen to have a few cans of peaches in syrup, and then a few cans of pears, and guess where they came from. And we were just looking for a recipe to use them in. We were tired of just putting them in a bowl and eating them. So somewhere we came across this recipe, and I've made cobblers before, but this is like the simplest, and it is so good. So we'll have the recipe in the newsletter, and we're not going to hand out ingredients on this because almost everyone's got canned fruit at home, and the rest of the ingredients are super simple. We've got flour, sugar, baking powder, not soda, baking powder, salt. We're going to use peaches today. Pears, and then a little bit of cinnamon, which is kind of optional, and then you need some butter. So here's how it goes, and this is going to be really quick, and you will love it. Set the oven for 350, and then we're going to we're making, the recipe I'm making now is about half of the written recipe, because the written recipe is for like a 9x13 pan, all right? And this is about half of that. So we're using a half a stick of butter. We're going to put it in the preheated oven to let the butter melt. Okay, then this is the most work involved is to make the batter, but even that is super simple. So for the 13x9 pan, you'll use a cup of each one of these three ingredients. Flour, or two ingredients. Oh, milk, sorry. One more ingredient, milk. Ta-da! All right. So the 13x9 pan would call for a cup of flour, a cup of sugar, and a cup of milk. Real easy to remember. Baking powder. The 13x9 pan calls for 2 teaspoonfuls. Heaping. And then we just do a little bit of salt, pinch of salt. All right. And we add the milk. Stir it all up. Okay, this is where the magic happens. Mix it up. Mix it good, get all the powder wet. And then we'll give it a few stirs. Get the lumps out. Don't need anything fancy for this recipe like mixers or any fancy kitchen gadgets. And it comes together so quick. Bakes for about 30 to 40 minutes, and you can just kind of watch it. You'll be able to tell when it's done. Okay, so we got the batter done. If you were using fresh fruit, especially something like pears or peaches or apples, you'd want to put them, peel them, slice them up, dice them, whatever, throw them in a fry pan with a little bit of butter and some sugar, and just kind of let the syrup form itself, kind of ooze, you know, and then you'd have a nice, nice wet fruit to pour into the cobbler. Since we're using canned, and believe me, the taste is just as good. You'd never know. We're just going to use a little bit of the syrup that's in the cans. Not a whole lot of it because it's kind of watery. So we'll use a little bit of the syrup, and then we'll sprinkle a little sugar on top, which helps everything caramelize. Let's see if our butter's melted yet. It has. All right, this is perfect. So, just make sure the whole bottom of the pan is covered. Okay, now this is kind of key, I learned for this recipe, is we pour the batter in, and we'll kind of tilt the pan back and forth to make sure it spreads from edge to edge, but we do not mix it with the butter. Super important. So we'll just kind of get it going to all the edges. That'll be good. That hot butter is already starting to cook the batter. Okay. So we're gonna put that right in the center. And again, this is key, do not mix it. No stirring, no mixing. And you know, you could really put in as much fruit as you want. I mean, you don't want it to go, you know, to cover the entire pan. Like, that's probably a good amount. And we are going to add just a little bit of juice. All right. I closed up my sugar, I forgot. I suppose for this final step, you can use brown sugar if you want. Get it a little more caramelized. All right. And optional here would be a little bit of cinnamon. All right. That is it, folks. That's the whole recipe. We'll stick it in the oven. And we will set the timer. We'll do 35 minutes. All right, good to go. See you when we take it out. All right, shutting off the timer. It's been 35 minutes. I took a look at it and it was perfect. And there it is, folks. Your pear cobbler. It's got that nice brown crust on it. It'll be very soft inside. Let it set for, you know, maybe 10 minutes before you dig in. Ice cream goes great with it, even for breakfast. So, bonjour everybody, and look forward to hearing back from folks how much they liked it. And we will see you next month. Thanks a lot, miigwech.